Hey guys, Josh here from Sportitude Running, and it is shoe review time. And in my hand I hold the Saucony Endorphin Speed 2. This is an exciting review, and the reason being is we had such a successful run with V1 that when V2 landed, or when we knew, pardon me, that V2 there was going to be minor changes, we knew that the running community were going to be super amped to roll over into V2. Now, with all my shoe reviews, what we're going to be doing in today's review is discussing the outsole, talk about the midsole, discuss how the upper sort of fits and feels and functions on top of the foot. Also do a comparative from V1 to V2, give you all the information at home that you need to, who knows, potentially throw this shoe into your shoe rotation. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Okay guys, before I dive in and start talking about who should be considering this shoe or the engineering components, we probably need to give you a little bit of a background history on the Endorphin franchise. So Saucony launched that franchise 12 months ago, and it's been a very successful campaign for them. So what Saucony have is they've got a shoe called the Shift, which is essentially their daily trainer with a really nice rocker sole underneath the foot. Then comes the Speed, which is what I hold in my hand through here, their Power Run PB technology in regards to the cushioning system underneath the foot with a nylon plate. And then they have their Pro, which has had a lot of airtime with regards to its success over the last 12 months. The Pro is their racing shoe. The Speed is kind of coming in as that interval/tempo running shoe. But that being said, we have had some great success with the Speed being a versatile shoe. People have used it for mileage, and people have also found it beneficial for racing as well. Okay guys, profiling the foot type they could be considering this shoe. So it is a very versatile shoe, and what I mean by that is we've had success with people who are mild overpronators, neutral and mild supinators. So kind of covering 3 different foot types with regards to the Saucony Endorphin Speed version 1, and nothing's really changed with the version 2. So if you're a runner that's essentially looking maybe for your first lighter weight tempo style shoe, and you happen to have some issues with your overall stability, looking for something with a bit more medial posting, there are probably other shoes you could consider before jumping into this shoe through here. But if you're pretty fit, you've got good strong feet, and you're mechanically moving quite well, and you're looking for something to complement your training on a lighter platform, then hey, let's talk all things Endorphin Speed 2. All right guys, where does the Endorphin Speed 2 sit in regards to shoe rotation? Now, being a lighter weight shoe, it's designed for those tempo runs. So when you want to get out the door and pick up the pace, even progressive runs, this shoe has been absolutely fantastic. So starting out at a slower, easy pace and building your pace up, whether it be every kilometre or every couple of Ks. So the shoe itself, I found personally beneficial when I wanted to increase my cadence. And the reason being, it does have that nylon plate, so you get a really snappy feel underneath your foot, but plenty of protection at the same time. So let's talk about the outsole of the Endorphin Speed 2. So as we hold it up and show you here at home, there is a pretty minimalistic take on an outsole. So that one reduces the weight, but Saucony have certainly identified they need to protect the asset being the midsole. So what we have at the back of the shoe through here is a little bit more of a durable rubber, strategically placed on the lateral side of that heel for that person who comes down heel first. As you come through to the midfoot, you can almost see that the border of the outsole has sort of covered with regards to the first point of contact with the ground, and then as you come through to the forefoot, it's certainly more filled out. So there's a little bit more going on with regards to the outsole in the forefoot. And then you look at V1, and nothing has changed at all. They've used the same rubber, they've used the same thickness, the same flex grooves, and they've strategically placed that outsole in the exact same areas. And the same thing goes when we talk all things midsole. So they had a great success with Power Run PB. It was fantastic inside this shoe. So your Power Run PB midsole is a really responsive foam underneath your foot, but you certainly get that impact that you're searching for when you pick the pace up in a shoe like this. And the other thing to note is you've got the same foam, but you don't have a change in stack height. So what we have inside the Endorphin Speed 2 is a 35.5 heel and a 27.5 forefoot for a variance of 8 millimeters. That's the same both men's and women's. And this shoe does have a plate injected inside the midsole. It isn't a carbon plate, it's a nylon plate. So the major difference between carbon and nylon in this shoe is that the nylon is a little bit more flexible. So if you can't tolerate a slightly more rigid plate, which is what the Pro offers for racing, the nylon has been a great way, or great sort of stepping stone for runners looking for a propulsive feel underneath the foot, but may not be able to tolerate the extra stiffness that a carbon plate offers. Okay, now let's talk all things upper. Now there is a couple of minor changes with regards to what Saucony have done. Now, to talk you through that, they have essentially just changed the positioning of the ventilation channels in the mesh through the forefoot. So when we're looking at V1 versus V2, it is almost exactly the same material. It's the same weight, thickness, fit, feel, depth, everything. So if you like the feel of the V1, you are going to like the feel of V2. They haven't compromised fit, feel and function. All they've done is just ever so slightly change the ventilation positioning of the mesh through the top toe box through here. And I suppose the reason there is if you can increase the ventilation through the foot, it should in theory provide a little bit more comfort. So more ventilation essentially takes the risk of getting really hot, sweaty feet, less dampness, less moisture, more comfort, essentially. As you're coming through to the midfoot of this shoe, as we touched on, nothing's changed with regards to the fit and the depth. The gusseted tongue is still in play, which is essentially the tongue itself is attached to a piece of material that runs to the lateral side of the shoe, and then on the medial side it also is attached to the midsole down here. And the reason brands do that with their speed shoes is because there's going to be more velocity or more effort going through the shoe itself, especially when you're picking up the pace. So while we want to make the most of the asset being the midsole, engage that nylon plate to generate some propulsion, you don't want your foot moving around too much on top of that platform. So the gusseted tongue just gives a little bit more of a lockdown, which is a great function and a great addition to this shoe. Now, of course, they did that with V1, so nothing's changed there. The only real thing that has changed with this upper, other than the ventilation channels, is the pull tabs, which has been strategically placed on the heel and also the tongue. Now, yeah, I can see a community out there, new triathletes, jumping up and down, giving each other high fives. This is going to no doubt provide a little bit easier transition for you in T2, getting the shoe on and off the bike out into the run leg. So it is a great little addition. It's probably not going to be for everyone, and some people might find that change negligible, but for me, I do like a pull tab. It's one of my favourite features. I like the ease of getting a shoe on, and this has certainly come through with Endorphin Speed 2. And talking about the function of the upper, again, nothing's changed with the heel counter. I need to point that out because the Pro itself is a lighter shoe and the Speed is a slightly more supportive offer. So there is an internal heel counter on offer here. So essentially at the back of the shoe itself, you're going to get a little bit more support for the base of that heel. So again, that is put into play with this shoe because it is kind of edging towards more of a daily trainer tempo shoe. You'll be spending more time in this shoe than you would a Pro. So a little bit more support up top is obviously beneficial. So there you have it, guys. That is the review of the Endorphin Speed 2. So just to go over a couple of take-home points, the shoe itself has not changed from the foot down. All the changes has occurred in the upper. So we have the same stack height as V1, 35.5 heel, 27.5 forefoot for a drop of 8 millimeters. The weight hasn't changed either, so we're talking 225 grams in a men's size 9 and 200 grams in a ladies size 7. It is and will be another incredibly versatile shoe for the next 12 months. So again, you can roll it from daily training to intervals, progressive runs, and for those of you that may just not get along with a carbon plate shoe, but you're looking for something with a little bit of extra push and propulsion, the Saucony Endorphin Speed is one that you should definitely consider at home. So if you've got any questions on the Endorphin Speed 2, or if you've been an Endorphin Speed 1 user, let us know. Drop it in the comment section below on your experience, your feedback on the shoe, what you liked about it. If you've got any questions about the engineering, what we've covered in today's video, also drop it in the comment section below. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, hit that red button, stay notified, and we'll keep pumping out these shoe reviews for you, all the runners at home, all around Australia and the world. And until next time, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we will see you out on the road. Take care.